Willow Serene was renowned in the circle for her steadfast devotion. For my sake, she turned away countless young talented suitors who pursued her, hoping only to stay by my side forever. Yet at my proposal ceremony, the man of her dreams asked if he stole the bride. Would she follow him? She answered with grave sincerity. In that moment, all the pitying gazes around us, the mocking laughter like countless steel needles, pierced relentlessly into my flesh and blood. I, a country boy from a small town, struggled through my studies, relying on scholarships and part-time jobs to graduate university, climbing step by step to become the technical director of the company today. A poor boy who overcame hardship. At the proposal ceremony, I meticulously prepared. I became the greatest laughingstock. I looked at Willow Serene. We had loved each other for 5 years. From university days to stepping into the world, I thought we were each other's final destination. For this proposal, I drained every penny of my savings, even borrowed a little more, to give her the luxurious wedding dress worth $300,000. She had admired in the shop window for over half a month, and the second diamond ring symbolizing a lifetime together. She once said, Jasper Dawn, I don't need anything. I only need you. Now she was ready to follow another man. That man was named Victor Liang, the second young master of the Liang family from the capital, also the full moon she once yearned for in high school. He went abroad for 7 years, vanishing without a trace. Each time Willow Serene mentioned him, the light in her eyes dimmed a little. I thought time would fade everything. I thought my love could fill all her regrets. It turns out I was only a substitute who appeared at the right moment in her emptiness, a cheap heating pad. When her true son returned, I deserved to be discarded without hesitation into the trash. Victor Liang extended his hand toward her, his gesture elegant yet full of arrogance, as if he were the true protagonist today. Willow Serene, almost without hesitation, lifted her wedding dress and stepped toward him. In that moment, my reason completely shattered. I rushed forward, pulling her back forcefully. From Miss Listflower tray nearby, I snatched the golden scissors used for ribbon cutting. Jasper Dawn, what are you doing? Have you gone mad? Willow Serene screamed, struggling to break free. I paid no heed to her. The scissors cold as ice, their blade pressed against the soft, splendid fabric of the wedding dress. A sharp rip sounded, a piercing, chilling sound. The expensive lace and silk in my hands turned to tattered scraps. Willow Serene screamed in despair. Tears streamed down my wedding dress. Jasper Dawn, you lunatic. Pay for my wedding dress. I laughed, a smile uglier than crying. Final pay with my life, is that enough? I tore the wedding dress to shreds, then removed the burning diamond ring from her ring finger. Without a glance, I threw it forcefully away. Amid the chaos and gasps of shock, a strong hand seized my wrist, snatching the scissors from my grasp. What are you doing? That's all your hard-earned money. Why torment yourself? It was Theo, Shen, my closest friend. He was my college roommate, also the young master of this 5-star hotel. The venue for my proposal today was provided by him for free. He bent down amid the stunned gazes of the crowd, calmly picked up the diamond ring from the carpet, blew off the non-existent dust on it, slipped it into my pocket. Keep it, you can trade it for some drinking money. Then he draped his arm over my shoulder, in a voice neither loud nor soft, but clear enough for everyone around to hear. He said, a guy like you was born to live off others' wealth, yet you chose to eat a bowl of sour bitterness. I stood frozen, not understanding what he meant. He tilted his head, looked at Willow Serene, who stood stunned, and Victor Liang, watching the drama with amusement. A mocking smile spread across his face. My family has a gold bar. Will you hold it? Theo Shen half dragged, half pulled me out of the banquet hall until we sat in Theo Shen's flashy Aston Martin. My taut nerves suddenly relaxed. My entire body felt as if its bones had been pulled out, collapsing into the passenger seat. The overwhelming humiliation and pain surged like a tidal wave. My eyes burned in waves, but I stubbornly refused to let tears fall. Theo Shen said nothing, just handed me a cigarette. Lit one for himself too. In the car, smoke clouded the air. I spoke hoarsely, thank you. If not for him, I don't know what crazier things I might have done. Thanks my ass. Theo. Shen exhaled a ring of smoke. 10 years of knowing you. This is the first time I've seen you so pathetic. For a woman, was it worth it? I gave a bitter smile. You've never been in love. You wouldn't understand. Theo. Shen sneered. Jasper Dawn. Can you tell the difference between love and gratitude or habit? What Willow Serene wants you can't give her. The meager salary you fought so hard for isn't enough for Victor Liang to buy her a single bag. You two were never from the same world to begin with. His words stabbed my heart like knives, but I couldn't argue back. Indeed, I gave everything I had, only to touch the ceiling of her world. While Victor Liang was born standing among the clouds. Forget it. Theo. Shen flicked the ash from his cigarette. What I just said was true. Which part? The gold bar in my family. Will you hold it? I frowned, a bit annoyed. Theo. Shen, at a time like this, you're still joking with me. Who's joking with you? Theo. Shen stopped the car by the roadside, turning to me, his expression more serious than ever. Jasper Dawn, I'm asking you, do you want to make Willow Serene and Victor Liang regret what they did today? Do you want to make them pay back the humiliation they caused you tenfold? His words carried a bewitching power. Each syllable struck the most sensitive chord in my heart. Yes, even in my dreams I want it. I want to see Willow Serene weeping, kneeling before me trembling. I want to see Victor Liang's arrogant face bruised and swollen. I want them to know that I, Jasper Dawn, am not someone who can be trampled on at will. Yes, I almost growled the word through gritted teeth. Good. Theo. Shen nodded. Come with me to meet that gold bar. The car sped off, finally stopping at an upscale villa complex with tight security. It was my first time at Theo. Shen's home. I knew his family was wealthy, but I didn't expect this level of wealth. Crossing a meticulously tended garden, stepping into a villa like a castle, an elegant lady approached. Adu, you're back. She saw me pausing slightly, but still smiled politely. Mom, this is my friend Jasper Dawn. Theo. Shen introduced. Where's my sister? In the art studio upstairs. Shen's smile seemed to carry a faint imperceptible melancholy. Theo. Shen pulled me upstairs, pushing open a white door. The art studio was vast, bathed in soft light. A girl in a long white dress stood with her back to us, before a massive easel, her figure delicate, her long black hair cascading like seaweed down to her waist. Sunlight streamed through the large window, falling upon her. Her entire being seemed to glow. Hearing the door open, she turned around. In that moment, my breath caught. I had seen many beautiful people. Willow Serene was already beautiful, but the girl before me was like a goddess. Her features, exquisite like God's masterpiece. Her skin smooth and translucent. Her eyes like a lake holding a sky full of stars. Clear, pure, yet carrying a distance of 1,000 miles. She was the gold bar Theo. Shen spoke of. His sister Celeste. Shen. I always thought Theo. Shen was an only child. He never mentioned having a sister. Sis. Theo. Shen stepped forward. In a gentle tone I'd never heard from him. Let me introduce. This is my best brother Jasper Dawn. Celeste. Shen's gaze fell on me, gliding lightly over. Then she nodded faintly, as a greeting. From start to finish, she didn't utter a word. Theo. Shen seemed accustomed to this. He pulled me out of the art studio, gently closing the door. My sister Celeste. Shen, beautiful, right? He raised an eyebrow. I nodded honestly, yeah. She's ill. Theo. Shen's next words struck me like lightning. Post-traumatic stress disorder, paired with mutism. Theo. Shen's voice grew heavy. 5 years ago she was kidnapped. Though she was rescued, she hasn't spoken a word since. She's seen countless therapists, all to no avail. I silently looked at the closed door, unable to connect that fairy-like girl with such a brutal experience. The kidnappers wanted money, but my parents didn't handle it well, angering them. My sister was traumatized. Theo. Shen's grip tightened unconsciously. His eyes flashed with pain and self-blame. I stayed silent. So this was the Shen family's greatest secret. So why did you bring me here? A wild guess stirred in my heart. Theo. Shen looked straight into my eyes, each word clear. Jasper Dawn. Marry my sister. You're insane. I blurted out. Theo. Shen didn't laugh. I'm not insane nor joking. His expression was more serious than ever. Jasper Dawn, I know what kind of person you are. Smart, resilient, ambitious, and most importantly loyal. You gave your all for Willow Serene. Now I hope you'll give that goodness to my sister. Why me? I couldn't understand. Because I trust you. Theo Shen said. I investigated Victor Liang. That guy wasn't clean abroad. His personal life is a mess. His investments lost plenty too. This time coming back. He's surely banking on the Liang family's name to make money. Willow Serene following him will cry sooner or later. But I don't care about her. I only care about you. I can't bear to see you ruined like this. He paused, then continued. As for my sister, she needs someone truly good to her, who can pull her out of that sealed world. These years my parents arranged countless blind dates, but what those guys were after, we all know. Only you, Jasper Dawn. Your sincerity with Willow Serene, I witnessed it all. You didn't do it for money. You truly know how to care for someone with your heart. This is too absurd. I shook my head. Marriage isn't a game, nor a transaction. Have you asked her? Does she agree? Whether she agrees doesn't matter. What matters is my parents will agree. As long as it can help her recover, they're willing to do anything. Theo Shen's voice carried firm resolve. Jasper Dawn, this is a win-win. Marry my sister. The Shen family will back you. What's the Liang family compared to that? Just nod. I can make Victor Liang unable to stay in the capital. Don't you want revenge? Isn't this the best way? His words were like fire, igniting the unwillingness in my heart once more. Imagine it. When I, as the Shen family's son-in-law, appear before Willow Serene and Victor Liang, what expressions will they have? Didn't Willow Serene scorn my poverty, saying I couldn't give her the life she wanted? Then I'll rise to the clouds, standing at a height she'll never reach. Didn't Victor Liang rely on his family's power to casually steal the one I love? Then I'll show him what true power looks like. I clenched my teeth, imagining Willow Serene crying in regret, and Victor Liang bowing in humiliation. The ocean's every word carved deep into my heart. The temptation was too great enough to make me temporarily overlook the absurdity and unfairness behind this marriage. What do I need to do? Theo Shen smiled. Simple. Marry my sister. Live in the house, stay by her side. Treat her well and I'll give you startup capital. Didn't you always want to start your own business? Build your own smart home brand. Go for it boldly. Whatever resources you need, the Shen family will support you. Your sister. Is her life just arranged like this? I still felt something uneasy in my heart. The smile on Theo Shen's face vanished, replaced by a heavy sadness. Jasper Dawn, it's been 5 years. She's locked herself in that small world for 5 years. If that's her life, I'd rather she take a gamble. The doctor said a new environment, someone without psychological burdens, who can give her enough security, might be the key to healing her. Why do you think in that person intuition? Theo Shen patted my shoulder. A brother's intuition. That night I stayed at the Shen family's home. Mrs. Shen was very kind to me, but her eyes carried a trace of melancholy. Theo Shen's father, a dignified middle-aged man, talked with me for a long time. He made no demands, only shared many stories about Celeste Shen as a child. He said how lively and open she used to be, like a little son, the joy of the whole family. By the end, this man who once dominated the business world had redrimmed eyes. Young Dawn, I don't know why Audu chose you, but if you can make my daughter speak again, half the Shen family's wealth I'll give to you. My heart trembled. Late at night, lying on the soft large bed in the guest room, I tossed and turned. In my mind, on one side was Willow Serene's resolute back, and Victor Liang's contemptuous gaze. On the other, Celestian's clear yet lonely eyes. One side was a bottomless abyss, the other a ladder to the heavens. I knew that with one nod, my life would change completely. The pride I lost, I could reclaim 100, 1,000 times over. But what about Celeste Shen? She was like a fragile porcelain doll, carefully cherished by her family, placed before me a stranger. Could I truly be her savior? What if I failed? I took out my phone, Opened Willow Serene's social feed. Her latest post, made half an hour ago. A cozy photo of her and Victor Liang, with the caption 7 years of waiting, finally fulfilled. Thank you for coming back. You are my son. In the photo, she smiled as brightly as a flower, nestled beside Victor Liang, as if our 5 years of love never existed. In the comments, our mutual friends now all congratulated her in unison. How laughable my shredded pride. The ring I threw away, and my heart pierced 1,000 times. Now all obstacles to her happiness. I turned off my phone. The last shred of hesitation and tenderness in my eyes faded with it. Love, what nonsense. Sincerity, what rubbish. From today, I, Jasper Dawn, want only money and power. The next morning, I found Theo Shen. I agree. My wedding with Celeste Shen was quiet and swift. No guests, no ceremony, only under the Shen family's witness. We went to the Civil Affairs office to register. When I held the red marriage certificate, my heart was calm, even a little numb. Celeste Shen was the same. She showed no expression throughout, like an exquisite doll, letting others arrange her. We became husband and wife by law. I moved into the Shen family's home, living in the room next to Celeste Shen's bedroom. The Shen family gave us enough private space, calling it a chance to build our bond. Our married life was strange, like a silent play. Every morning, we ate breakfast together at the long dining table. She ate slowly, silently, never making a sound. During the day, she stayed in her art studio. I visited a few times. Her paintings were all dark in tone, lines twisted, filled with suppression and pain, weighing heavily on my heart. As for me, with Theo Shen's help, I founded my own tech company, Horizon Smart. I turned all my smart home ideas from college into plans. Mr. Shen reviewed them and was very pleased. He gave me 50 million as startup capital. I poured my heart into work, meetings, client visits, research and development by day, studying documents late into the night. I was so busy that I almost had no time to think of Willow Serene or this strange marriage. Between me and Celeste Shen, we rarely interacted, or rather we barely did. Each day I greeted her in the morning and evening, told her when I left or returned. She never responded, only occasionally nodded at me. Sometimes working late past midnight, leaving my study, I'd see her holding a glass of warm milk, silently waiting at the door. She'd hand me the milk, then turn and leave. On stormy, thundering days, her bedroom door would be slightly ajar. I knew she was afraid. The kidnapping years ago left too deep a shadow. I'd pull a chair and sit outside her room until the rain stopped. We were like two strangers, living under one roof, keeping a miraculously safe distance. I thought such days would last forever, until one day, for a business deal, I drank too much at a client dinner. Returning home near 2 a.m., I vomited violently. My stomach churned unbearably. In a daze, I felt someone supporting me, wiping my face, then offering a glass of warm honey water. I struggled to open my eyes, seeing Celestine's face full of worrying. She wore a white nightgown, her long hair loose, moonlight streaming through the window, making her look like a fairy untouched by the world's dust. Seeing me awake, she seemed to breathe a sigh of relief, turned to leave. I don't know why I grabbed her hand. Don't go, I mumbled, not knowing if it was drunken words or a deep yearning in my heart. She paused, not pulling away. I, fueled by alcohol, poured out all the pain and suppression in my heart. I spoke of my origins, how my parents struggled to raise me, how I fought to study and work to gain a foothold in the big city. I spoke of me and my 5 years with Willow Serene, how I loved her, planned every step of our future. I spoke of that humiliating proposal, how my heart was torn to pieces. They all mocked me, called me a fool, a clown dancing for laughs. How long I tried, only to become a joke, like a child. For the first time, I showed weakness before another, talking on and on. I felt cold liquid dripping onto the back of my hand. I looked up and saw Celeste Shen crying. She made no sound, only tears like broken pearls streaming endlessly from her beautiful eyes. her face full of sorrow and pain. In that moment, my heart felt struck by something powerful. I reached out, gently wiping the tears from her face. She didn't pull away. We gazed at each other in the quiet late night. Two broken souls, finding solace in each other. From that day, things began to change. Celeste Shen no longer just waited silently. She began trying to connect with me in her own way. She placed a small succulent plant on my desk, left a note on my bedside table, saying rest early. Her paintings grew brighter. Blue skies, white clouds appeared, even little suns. One day, returning from work, I saw her painting a man whose silhouette resembled mine, standing in a field of sunflowers, sunlight radiant. In the bottom right corner, a small signature, no longer twisted lines, but took graceful words, sunny heart. My heart then was filled with an indescribable warmth and softness. I began to look forward to coming home, to seeing her, to what small surprise she'd bring today. I even started learning to paint, spending weekends with her in the studio. My paintings were terrible, but each time she looked at them, she gave a faint, fleeting smile. The first time she smiled at me, like ice melting, the world coming alive. My career soared too. Horizon Smart's first-generation product launched. With humane design and superior technology, it quickly captured the market. In less than half a year, the company's value grew tenfold. I was no longer the poor boy, borrowing money for a wedding dress. I became a rising star in tech, a young entrepreneur chased by the meteor. All this, Willow Serene and Victor Liang naturally saw. My success was like a resounding slap across their faces. One day, at an industry conference, I met them. I was the keynote speaker on stage, sharing my entrepreneurial journey. Standing under the spotlight, speaking fluently, I felt clearly two gazes of resentment and envy from the audience. After my speech, Willow Serene stopped me at the lounge door. She looked worn, diminished, the light in her eyes gone, replaced by fatigue and unwillingness. Jasper, Dawn, can we talk? Her voice was hoarse. What's left to talk about between us? I replied coldly, I know you hate me. She bit her lip, her eyes reddening. Back then I was wrong. But Jasper, Dawn, don't you miss our 5 years together at all? 5 years together. I laughed. Willow Serene, when you abandoned me in front of everyone, making me the city's laughingstock. Why didn't you think of our 5 years? When you and Victor Liang were a happy couple, posting on social media to flaunt. Why didn't you think of our 5 years? My words were like daggers to her heart. Her face paled instantly. Victor Liang and I aren't what you think. She seemed to want to explain something. What you two are has nothing to do with me. I cut her off. I'm married. I'm very happy. Please don't bother me again. With that, I stepped past her to leave. Is it because of Celeste Shen? She suddenly shouted behind me. Because she's the Shen family's heiress. She can give you everything you want. Jasper, Dawn, you've changed. You've become a stranger. So vulgar. I stopped. Turned back, looking at her coldly. Yes, you're absolutely right. I am vulgar, chasing only material things. I did aim for the Shen family's power, but wasn't it you who taught me that? Willow Serene, you told me sincerity is worthless. Power and money are what give dignity. Now I'm following your teachings. What right do you have to judge me? Her lips trembled, unable to say a word. As if recalling something, I pulled out my phone, opened a photo and held it before her. In it, Celeste Shen and I in the art studio. She was smiling, helping me adjust a painting. Sunlight fell upon us. Time seemed to pause. I forgot to mention, my wife is Celeste Shen. She's beautiful and very kind. She is the true sun in my life. Seeing Willow Serene's face lose all color in an instant, a thrill of revenge surged in me. But within that thrill was a faint, indescribable loss. I thought I'd feel triumphant, but I didn't. Perhaps because in my heart, Willow Serene and that painful past no longer mattered. What truly occupied me was something else. Back home, Theo Shen was waiting in the living room, his face dark. Seeing me return, he threw a stack of documents on the table. See for yourself. I picked them up, glancing briefly. My pupils contracted. It was an investigation report on Celeste's kidnapping 5 years ago, and on the final page, a name I never dreamed of stood out. Victor Liang. What's this about? My voice was tense. It means the kidnapping back then. Victor Liang was involved. Theotian's eyes were bloodshot. He wasn't the mastermind, just a messenger for the kidnappers. Back then his family's company had issues, desperately needed money, so he targeted my sister. My head buzzed, blank. Then the matter blew up. Someone died, he got scared, took the money and fled abroad. He couldn't survive abroad these years, so he came back. Theotian's voice was full of violence and killing intent. That bastard. He didn't just destroy your relationship. He ruined my sister's life. I gripped the report tightly, my fingers white from force. A raging fire of anger blazed from my heart, nearly burning my reason to ashes. So that's how it was. So it was all a grand scheme from start to finish. Victor Liang approached Willow serene, perhaps from the beginning, not just for some so-called full moon, but to monitor me through her, to probe the Shen family's secrets. Because I was Theotian's best friend, he feared his past would be exposed. So he struck first, stole Willow serene, trampled me into the mud, making me too weak to turn things around or touch the Shen family's core. What a brilliant move to pull the rug out. What do you want to do? I looked up at Theo Shen, a ruthless glint in his eyes. I want him dead. I shook my head. That's too easy for him. I want him to pay back what he owes Celeste Shen, with interest. I want him to taste falling from the peak to hell. More importantly, I can't let Celeste Shen face any more shocks. I must use the steadiest and cruelest way to quietly remove this cancer. Theo Shen and I began secretly gathering evidence of Victor Liang's crimes. After returning, Victor Liang started an investment company. Really just an empty shell, pulling investments everywhere, playing a Ponzi scheme with capital, relying on the Liang family's name and his deceitful face. He actually lured plenty of fools, among them Willow Serene's father. With Theotian's help we investigated, discovering the Liu family's company was strong outside, weak inside, cash flow broken, surviving on loans. Mr. Liu pinned his last hope on Victor Liang, nearly mortgaging the entire company. No wonder Willow Serene abandoned me so easily, chose Victor Liang. She didn't not love me, but before her family's survival, our love was too small, too powerless. At the proposal ceremony, Victor Liang's appearance to her was like grasping the last straw. My hatred for her after learning the truth faded considerably, replaced by a complex pity. She was pitiable too, but I didn't sympathize with her. She chose her path. She must bear the consequences. Theo Shen and I set a massive trap. We first leaked news that Horizon Smart was seeking new funding, luring Victor Liang to bite. He took the bait. He sat in my office, still acting superior, as if his investment was my honor. Mr. Don, I've long admired your reputation. Who'd have thought a small-time technician back then could achieve this today? He smiled with hidden daggers. Mr. Liang flatters me. I smiled, pouring tea for him. The wheel of fortune turns, doesn't it? Who'd have guessed? The once glorious second young Master Liang abroad now scrambles everywhere for capital. His expression shifted slightly, but quickly returned to normal. Mr. Don jests. I'm optimistic about Horizon's future. So will you consider my investment? I can offer resources others can't. Really, I feigned curiosity. Like what? For instance, I can help you deal with Willow Serene for good. That woman, I know she's been bothering you lately. He lowered his voice, showing a look like we were kindred spirits. Women fun to play with, but serious boring, especially the gold-digging kind. Hearing him speak of Willow Serene so disdainfully, I felt a wave of nausea. Willow Serene was truly blind to fall for this scum, but my face showed no emotion, just a faint smile. Mr. Liang's offer is tempting, but I need time to think. After seeing Victor Liang off, Theo Shen stepped out from the adjacent listening room, his face full of disgust. That bastard is truly vile. Even the woman by his side is used as a bargaining chip, a pawn. That's why we must make him fall clearly. My eyes were cold as ice. Our plan moved forward step by step. To secure my funding, Victor Liang to show his strength, frantically patched east to borrow west, making his scam snowball bigger. Well, we only needed to give a gentle push at the critical moment. The day before closing the net, an unexpected event occurred. That evening, I was in my study reviewing final documents. Celeste Shen pushed the door open. She brought a bowl of freshly made pear with rock sugar. She placed it on the table, not leaving. Instead, she took out her phone, typed a line in her notes, showed it to me. "You've been troubled lately." I paused, looking up at her. Her eyes were like clear springs, reflecting my tired, tense face clearly. So she knew everything. She just didn't speak. My heart softened instantly. I put down the documents, held her hand sunny. If I said I did some bad things, would you be afraid of me?" She shook her head, then slowly opened her mouth. With a soft, hoarse voice, like a machine long unused, she uttered two words, "not afraid." My world in that moment was like fireworks exploding. This was her first time speaking in 5 years. Speaking for me. I was so moved I could barely speak. I could only hold her tightly, so tightly. "Sonny, you spoke. You finally spoke." She nodded gently in my arms, then clumsily reached out to hug me back. I held her, feeling her warm body and real presence. My heart never so calm and resolute. For her ID faced the whole world. The next day, the time to close the net arrived. I invited Victor Liang to the company to sign an investment letter. At the same time, Theo Shen submitted all the evidence we gathered anonymously to the financial and tax authorities. Victor Liang walked into my office smug and cheerful. He thought he was about to climb the Shen family's big tree to push his scam even bigger. Mr. Don decided yet. I smiled, pushing a stack of documents before him. "Mr. Liang, sign it." He didn't even look, picked up the pen to sign his name. At that moment, my office door was forcefully pushed open. A group of uniformed police officers stepped in. "Victor Liang, you're suspected of commercial fraud and illegal fundraising. Come with us." Victor Liang's face went from rosy to pale instantly. The pen in his hand fell with a clatter. "No. Impossible, you've got the wrong person. I'm the second young master of the Liang Group, Mr. Don's honored guest." He shouted in panic. I stood up and approached him, looking down from above. "Victor Liang, did you think time would erase all memory of the Tanjiang Street warehouse incident 5 years ago?" At the mention of the 6 words Tanjiang Street warehouse, Victor Liang's pupils shrank to pinpoints. He looked as if he'd seen a ghost, staring at me intently. "How do you know?" "Not only do I know, I also know. The girl you terrified into silence back then is now my wife." I spoke each word deliberately, my voice soft, but like a heavy hammer pounding his heart. What Victor Liang completely collapsed. His eyes filled with despair and fear. How could he have foreseen everything he painstakingly built would crumble at the hands of me, the one he never took seriously? Victor Liang was taken away. Awaiting him was the law's stern punishment and endless years of imprisonment. The Liang family, to wash their hands of him, immediately issued a statement confirming all of Victor Liang's actions abroad were unrelated to the family and struck his name from their genealogy. The investors he swindled to ruin, among them the Liu family, suffered the most. The Liu Corporation declared bankruptcy overnight. Mr. Liu, unable to bear the shock, suffered a stroke and was admitted to the ICU. Willow Serene came to me, not at the company, but right at the gate of my villa. She knelt on the ground, sobbing uncontrollably, begging me to spare her father, to spare her family. Jasper Don, I was wrong. I was truly wrong. Please, I beg you, for old time's sake, help me. If you help, I'll do anything you ask. She kept kowtowing, her forehead blooded, blood seeping out, utterly wretched, utterly pitiable. I looked at her silently, no hatred in my heart nor triumph, only a bleak desolation. If you knew this day would come, why act as you did back then? I said nothing, just turned to enter the house. Jasper Dawn, she screamed in anguish. I know you married Celeste Shen. just to use the Shen family to take revenge on me. You and she have no real feelings. I stopped, turned to look at her. Willow serene. You're mistaken, I love Celeste Shen. The one you love is me. Always has been me. She was still lost in that laughable delusion. At that moment, the villa door opened from within. Celeste Shen stepped out. She wore a beige dress, her long hair pinned up, her face bearing a gentle smile. She came to my side, naturally linking her arm with mine, then looked at Willow serene kneeling on the ground. This young lady, she spoke, her voice clear and pleasant, like an oriole singing in a valley. I think you're mistaken. Jasper, the one he loves, is me. Willow serene froze, staring at Celeste Shen as if she were a monster. Seeing her now able to speak. How can you? Do you think stealing from someone else means they must live in eternal pain, waiting forever for you to return? Celeste Shen's eyes were calm, but carried a piercing strength. Miss Liu, you pushed him away with your own hands. Now he is mine. With that, she stood on tiptoe, gently kissing my cheek. Under the sunlight, her smile was more beautiful than any scenery I'd ever seen. Willow serene utterly broke down. She looked at us, her eyes shifting from pleading to resentment, and finally to gray despair. I knew she had lost, completely and utterly lost. We paid her no more heed, turned and walked into the house. The moment the door closed, I held Celeste Shen tightly in my arms. Thank you for healing me, and healing yourself. Thank you for showing me that true love is salvation. Is growth is making us better people. She smiled softly in my embrace. We're husband and wife, aren't we? Here the story should have ended with a perfect full stop. Victor Liang in prison, the Liu family bankrupt, Celeste Shen and I living happily. When I thought everything had settled, Theo Shen came to me, his expression graver than when he told me Victor Liang was involved in the kidnapping. Something even more serious. He handed me a stack of documents. Another investigation report. What is this? I suddenly had a bad premonition. Read it first. Theo Shen's voice was hoarse. I opened the documents, scanning quickly. The more I read, the deeper my heart sank. My limbs grew cold. This was a deeper investigation into Celeste Shen's kidnapping 5 years ago. We thought before Victor Liang was just a minor informant. But this report revealed his role was far greater than we imagined, and the most critical information plunged me into an icy abyss. According to the latest testimony, the night of the kidnapping, besides Victor Liang, there may have been an insider from the Shen family. This insider provided the kidnappers with Celeste Shen's daily schedule, security gaps, and core information, and later helped Victor Liang escape smoothly. Who was the Shen family insider? I snapped my head up to look at Theo Shen. A wildly terrifying thought uncontrollably crept into my mind. Theo Shen, I struggled to speak. Theo Shen didn't avoid my gaze. He only gave a bitter smile, nodded it was me. My world completely collapsed in that moment. How could it be him? How could it possibly be him? The brother who pulled me up in my darkest hour. The brother who grieved for his sister's illness. The one I trusted and relied on most. He was a conspirator in that tragedy. Why my blood felt frozen. My voice trembled, barely audible. Theo Shen closed his eyes tightly, his face full of pain and regret. From childhood to adulthood, everyone only cherished her. My parents, grandparents all revolved around her. She was smart, beautiful, talented in every way, the brightest pearl of the Shen family. And I was just her errand boy. Just for that. I couldn't believe it. I was too young then. Only 19, blinded by jealousy. Theo Shen's voice was full of self-loathing. I met Victor Liang. We got along well. He said he could help me teach her a lesson, make her suffer a bit, so she wouldn't be so arrogant anymore. I thought it was just scaring her. I didn't expect things to spiral out of control, resulting in a death. I was scared, truly scared. Victor Liang fled. I didn't dare tell the truth. I feared my parents would kill me, feared my life would be ruined forever. For 5 years, I haven't slept a single night soundly, seeing her suffer. I more than anyone wanted her to recover, because only if she got better would my guilt lessen even a little. I sought you out, asked you to marry her, truly believing you were good, and truly wanting to atone. I saw you as my only lifeline. As he spoke, tears streamed down his face. A tall man 6 feet tall, crying like a helpless child. I looked at him, my heart a tangled mess. Hate, of course, I hated. I hated his deception, hated his manipulation, hated even more that he hurt the girl I treasured like a gem. But I thought of the past 6 months. What he did for me. He helped me start my company, helped me take revenge on Victor Liang, helped me fend off the wolves of the business world. Without him, there'd be no me today. He was indeed atoning in his clumsy, stubborn way, and Celeste Shen was the most innocent victim in this tragedy. If she learned this truth, it would be like stabbing a fatal wound into her barely healed heart. A wound from the brother she loved most. She would collapse again. I couldn't let her know. Absolutely not. I took a deep breath, tore the report to shreds. Theo Shen, from today, this report doesn't exist, nor does any insider. The case from 5 years ago. The mastermind and accomplices have all been caught. It's over. Theo Shen snapped his head up, looking at me in disbelief. Jasper, Dawn, am not doing this for you, I said coldly. I'm doing it for Sunny, this secret. Let it rot in your gut. This life, the next, never speak of it again. From now on, be a good second young master of the Shen family. Treat your sister well. Spend your life making up for your mistake. That's what you owe her. With that, I turned and left, fearing if I stayed a second longer, I wouldn't stop myself from beating him to death. I returned to my and Celeste Shen's room. She was sitting by the window reading. Time seemed to pause. Seeing me return, she smiled at me. I smiled back, trying to make my smile look as usual. I walked over, hugged her from behind. Sunny, I love you. She leaned into my embrace, her voice soft. I love you too. I buried my face in her hair, breathing in her comforting scent. Tears fell silently. I thought I'd bury this secret forever deep in my heart. But once again, I underestimated life's drama. A week later, Victor Liang took his own life in prison. He left a suicide note, not for his parents, but through his lawyer, specifically addressed to Celeste Shen. When the letter reached me, my heart nearly stopped. I didn't know what it contained, but I had a strong premonition. It would be Pandora's box, destroying everything. I wanted to destroy it, but Celeste Shen appeared behind me, took the letter. Jasper, it's for me, right? She looked at me, her clear eyes, as if seeing through everything. My hands trembled. Sunny, don't read it. It's just the ravings of a dying man. She shook her head, then opened the letter right in front of me. My world darkened. Celeste Shen read the letter silently, but my heart felt roasted over flames. Each second was torture. I stared at her face, trying to catch even a flicker of emotion, but there was none. She was so calm, calm as if reading a meaningless weather forecast. Until she finished the last line, she looked up at me, her once clear eyes now veiled with thick mist, making it impossible for me to see through. Jasper, she spoke, her voice soft. You knew everything, didn't you? My throat tightened, unable to utter a word. She smiled, a smile carrying a desolate sadness I'd never seen, actually, if known, for a long time. Her words were like thunder exploding in my head. What, you never truly lost your voice? She lowered her eyes, her long lashes casting shadows beneath. I just didn't know what to say, or who to say it to. What happened in that warehouse was too filthy, too terrifying. I didn't want to speak of it, didn't want to face it. I locked myself away, pretending to be a broken doll. I thought, maybe then no one would bother me anymore. But that incident, every detail I remember vividly. Her voice began to tremble faintly. I remember Victor Liang's sinister smile, and behind those people, I glimpsed Theo's silhouette. My heart felt gripped by an invisible hand, painful to the point of breathlessness. She knew everything from the start. Among those who hurt her was the brother she loved most. She carried that heavy fate, struggling alone in the dark for 5 years. I hated him. She said I hated how he could treat me like that. So when he brought you to me, told you to marry me, I agreed. I knew you were his best brother. his only weakness. I wanted to use you, to take revenge on him through you. Her words were like the sharpest knife, slicing my heart to pieces. So that's how it was. From the beginning, I was just a pawn on Theoshen's board. On Celestine's board. On Theoshen's board, I was the husband to atone. On Celestine's board, I was the husband for revenge. How laughable. I thought I'd escaped one quagmire, only to fall into a deeper vortex. I thought I'd found salvation and true love, only to realize from start to finish, it was a meticulously calculated manipulation. And you told me. I struggled to speak, asking the question I feared the answer to most. The kindness you showed me, the care, the smiles, were they fake too? She looked at me, tears finally falling. At first, yes, her voice was faint, enough to plunge me into hell. I observed you, learned your preferences, did things you liked, said things you wanted to hear. I pretended you were healing me, to lower your guard, to make you love me. So when the day came to reveal the truth, the blow to Theo would be fatal. Blood rushed to my head. My vision darkened in waves. I staggered back a step. But Jasper, she cried, stepping toward me, wanting to take my hand. Then everything changed. I truly fell in love with you. I saw everything you did for me. Saw you to protect me, unafraid to face the world. Saw you happy all day just for one smile of mine. My heart was in turmoil. I realized I was pretending to love you, but somehow truly loved you. I didn't want revenge anymore. I just wanted to be with you truly. Victor Liang's letter I didn't even want to read. I was afraid. Afraid the past I'd buried with such effort would destroy what we have now. Jasper, can you believe me? The love I have for you now is real. Can we forget everything? Start over. She sobbed uncontrollably, begging in desperation, just like Willow Serene kneeling at my gate that day. What an ironic cycle. I looked at her tear-streaked face, my heart empty as a desert. What is love? Deception, manipulation, calculation. I'm tired, truly tired. I gently pushed her away, turned, walked step by step out of the lavish cage. That suffocated me. Behind me was her desperate cry, Jasper, don't go, please don't go. I didn't turn back, not even once. I moved out of the Shen family's home, checked into a hotel, cut off contact with everyone, locked myself in the room, not eating, not drinking, seeing no one. My mind replayed a movie, reliving the past over and over. The past 6 months. There was Willow Serene's betrayal, Theoshen's salvation, Celestine's healing. Every scene was filled with lies and schemes. I was like a puppet controlled by others, performing a brilliant revenge play, moving everyone in the end, but deceiving myself. I was the most laughable clown. Theo Shen and Celeste Shen both came to find me. They waited outside the hotel for 3 days and nights. I met no one. A week later, my lawyer came to me. He brought 2 documents. One was a divorce agreement signed by Celeste Shen. She left with nothing, taking nothing with her. The other was a share transfer agreement for Horizon Smart. The Shen family transferred all their shares to my name free of charge. Legally, Horizon Smart now belonged entirely to me, Jasper Dawn. I became a true billionaire built from scratch. I had everything I once dreamed of. Wealth, status, a career, but I felt no joy. My heart was empty, like a giant black hole, swallowing all light and warmth. After the lawyer left, I received a final message from Theo Shen. Jasper Dawn, I'm sorry. I know these 3 words are cheap, but I must say that my sister is dying. Victor Liang's letter didn't just expose my secret, but detailed the kidnapping. After reading it, her spirit completely collapsed. The doctor said her post-traumatic stress disorder relapsed, worse than before. She locked herself in her art studio, seeing no one, eating nothing. My parents are preparing to take her to Switzerland for treatment. Before she goes, she only wants to see you once. I know I have no right to beg you, but please, will you? I stared at the message for a long time, unmoving. In my heart, hate and love intertwined. Pain and longing tore at me. Reason told me to cut ties, each to our own path, live our lives well. But in my mind, I couldn't stop seeing Celeste's face. The first time she smiled at me, the clumsy way she said not afraid, the moment in my arms when she said I love you too. Were those moments acting or true feeling? My heart ached again, ached with raw reality. In the end, I went to the airport. In the VIP lounge, I saw Celeste Shen. She was emaciated skeletal, her face pale as paper, wearing a loose hospital gown in a wheelchair, her eyes empty, devoid of life. She was again the silent, unsmiling doll I first met, even more broken than then. Seeing me, her empty eyes finally flickered with light. She reached out to me, like a drowning person, grasping the last floating log. I came to her, crouched down, took her cold hand. 1,000 words surged in my heart, but turned into a single sigh. Sonny, forget me. Go to Switzerland, get treated well. Live well. You're still young. Your life is just beginning. Her tears fell again. She opened her mouth, using all her strength to form words silently. I understood. She said, take me away. My heart was struck hard by those 3 words, take her away. Take her where? What right did I have to take her? I let go of her hand, stood up, gritted my teeth, turned. I'm sorry. I walked away, not looking back. I knew this turning away was a forever farewell. I thought this was the best ending for us all. I carried my company. She carried her wounds. We returned to our separate paths, never to cross again. From now on, the world apart, each to cherish their own. I returned to my life, or rather to my work. I worked more frantically than before, even more frenzied, filling my time with work, leaving no gap for stray thoughts. Horizon Smart under my leadership, its market value soared, becoming an undisputed giant in the industry. I became a legend in people's eyes, a business myth. They said I was cold, decisive, distant from human warmth. They didn't know my heart died long ago. Time passed like this. A year later, on a drizzly afternoon, I drove aimlessly through the streets. As if guided by fate, I drove to the villa complex, where Celeste Shen and I once lived. I parked by the roadside, gazing at the house we once shared, lost in thought. At that moment, I saw a familiar figure holding an umbrella, stepping out of the villa. It was Willow Serene. She was more worn than a year ago, but dressed as vibrantly as before. I was stunned. Why was she here? She went to a Porsche parked at the gate, opened the door, and got in. The driver, I saw clearly, was Theo Shen. How were they together? A chilling guess surged in my heart. I started the car, quietly following. I followed them to an upscale restaurant, watched them enter a private room together, their gestures intimate, like a couple in passionate love. My mind was in chaos. What was this? Could it be? I took out my phone, called someone I hadn't contacted in a long time. My old assistant, a very reliable private investigator. Investigate to people Theo Shen and Willow Serene. What's their relationship? An hour later, I got a response. The content was brief, but enough to shatter my entire worldview. Mr. Dawn, Theo Shen and Willow Serene since college were secret lovers. Willow Serene was with you, only to cover their tracks, while using you to provoke Theo Shen, because the Shen family would never approve of Theo Shen marrying a girl of ordinary background. After you and Miss Celeste Shen divorced a year ago, Theo Shen began openly pursuing Willow Serene and used the Shen family's resources to revive the Liu Corporation. Additionally, about Miss Celeste Shen's kidnapping, we found new clues. Before his suicide, Victor Liang had a long talk with his lawyer. He insisted he wasn't the mastermind, just a pawn. The real planner was Theo Shen. Theo Shen orchestrated the kidnapping, first to create chaos, to embezzle company funds, to cover his massive gambling debts, second to destroy Celeste Shen completely, because grandfather Shen's will left most of the Shen family's wealth to be inherited by his eldest granddaughter Celeste Shen. Victor Liang's letter was forged, written by Theo Shen and Willow Serene together, mimicking Victor Liang's handwriting, to drive a wedge between you and Miss Celeste Shen, to make you leave the Shen family completely. The phone slipped from my hand to the floor. Its screen shattered. My body trembled uncontrollably. I was wrong from start to finish. I was wrong. The truth I thought I knew was a lie they meticulously wove. The manipulation I thought I suffered was actually a clumsy, profound love. Celeste Shen never used me to protect me. She pretended to know the truth, endured the pain to sign the divorce agreement, forced herself to leave me. She feared I'd learn the mastermind was Theo Shen and recklessly seek revenge on him. Theo Shen was her brother, the second young master of the Shen family. I couldn't fight him, so she chose to sacrifice herself to keep me safe. She was too foolish. I was the biggest fool under heaven. I rushed out of the restaurant like a madman, drove to the airport. I had to find her. Right now, I had to find her. I had to tell her I knew everything. I had to say I loved her. From start to finish, I loved only her. I raced to the hotel as fast as possible, hands trembling, booked the earliest flight to Zurich, Switzerland. During the over 10-hour flight, I didn't close my eyes for a second. Her pale face kept appearing before me. Theo Shen's fake smile, and Willow's serene, seemingly regretful, but calculating gaze. Each scene was like a poisoned needle, piercing my heart with pain. My blood felt like it was flowing backward. I hated my stupidity, hated my slowness to realize. I was like a blind man, charging through a maze others designed, thinking I controlled my fate. Sunny, my Sunny, she bore it all alone, pushed me away in the most resolute way, just to keep me whole. When the plane landed at Zurich Airport, dawn was just breaking. Using information Theo Shen had inadvertently revealed, and mobilizing every resource to quickly find her address, I rushed nonstop to a private sanatorium by Lake Lucerne. This sanatorium was quiet, almost desolate. A white building, nestled in the midst of the Alps and evergreen forests. Like a beautiful cage, I went to the reception, claimed to be Celeste Shen's family. The nurse glanced at me, perhaps seeing my expensive attire, my anxious expression not seeming fake, or maybe the Shen family had instructed her. She didn't stop me much, just signaled me to stay quiet, and led me through a silent corridor. The closer I got to her room, the heavier my steps. My heart pounded like thunder. Fear and hope wove into a net, nearly strangling me. I feared seeing a completely broken her, but longed to see her immediately, to tell her I was here, that I'd never leave again. The nurse stopped before a slightly ajar door. The doctor said Miss Shen's condition has stabilized recently, but she's still very quiet. Most of the time she paints. Try not to upset her. I took a deep breath, gently pushed the door. The room was spacious, bathed in soft light. Outside the window the lake sparkled, and snow-capped peaks stood. Celeste Shen sat by the window at an easel, her back to me, wearing a loose white sweater, her long hair cascading like seaweed naturally, her frail figure, as if she could melt into the cold morning light at any moment. At her feet were scattered finished paintings. I stepped closer. My gaze swept over the paintings. My breath suddenly stopped. The paintings were no longer dark, twisted blocks, nor sunflowers under sunlight. They were all of me. Me with slightly furrowed brows and sleep. My focused profile in the study. My gentle smile giving her milk. Even me at the proposal broken, tearing the wedding dress. Eyes red with despair. Every stroke, every line, held emotions so intense they suffocated. She remembered every detail of me. The good, the bad, the glorious, the wretched. She painted the words she couldn't speak, all poured onto the canvas. I came behind her, saw her applying the final stroke to a painting. It was me and her in the painting. No longer the poor boy desperate to prove himself, nor the cold, sharp upstart later. My eyes gentle, serene, looking down at her. She leaned into my embrace, her lips curved in a true faint smile. The background was our art studio. Sunlight through the large window spilled onto the floor, creating warm patches of light. In the bottom right corner, two neat words, homecoming. My vision blurred instantly. Sunny, I called out, my voice hoarse, barely recognizable. Her back trembled slightly. The paintbrush fell with a clatter onto the white wool carpet, staining a patch of deep blue. She didn't turn around. Only her shoulders shook uncontrollably. I stepped in front of her, slowly crouched down, looked up at her. She had wasted away so much, her face still deathly pale, her ancestor-filled lake-like eyes, now like frosted glass, brimming with yellowed haze. Panic and a cautious disbelief. I took her cold, trembling hand, pressed it to my burning cheek. I'm sorry. I came too late. 1,000 words choked in my throat, turned into one sentence. I know everything. Sunny, everything. The ocean, Willow serene, that letter, I know it all. Her pupils contracted slightly. Her lips moved, but no sound came. Only tears like broken pearls fell in a cascade, dripping onto the back of my hand, burning hot, startlingly so. I'm sorry, I was too foolish. I failed to protect you. I apologized over and over, kissing away the tear tracks on her face. The bitter salt seeped into my heart. I was wrong, I shouldn't have let you go. Please give me another chance, okay? She just looked at me, tears streaming, as if to etch my image deep into her soul. I held the homecoming painting Shed just finished, pointed to those 2 words. My voice choked but firm. Look at this. You painted homecoming. I am your way home. You are my harbor. Come home with me. Sunny, let's go home. After a long time, her trembling fingers slowly touched my brow bone, tracing the contours bit by bit downward, as if confirming this wasn't a fragile dream. Then she opened her arms, gently embracing me. She buried her face in the crook of my neck. Her hot tears quickly soaked my shirt. I felt her faint breath, almost inaudible. Then a hoarse voice, fragile as gossamer, sounded by my ear. Jasper. I held her tightly, with a strength as if to meld her into my bones, never to part again. I'm here, I'll always be here from now on. I didn't take Celeste Shen back to the country immediately. That place was too murky. I didn't want her tainted by it anymore. We rented a wooden house by Lake Lucerne, hired the best therapist and care team, stayed with her, slowly healing. I set aside all non-essential work, each day walking with her, painting, reading, or doing nothing, just holding each other, watching snow fall by the lake. Her complexion grew rosier, her smiles more frequent, though she was still mostly silent. The darkness and terror in her eyes were gradually being dispelled. She began learning to speak again, from simple words, like a babbling child. I became her most patient student and most loyal listener. During that time, Theo, Shen, and Willow Serene frantically called my phone. I blocked all their contact methods, keeping only one-way communication through my lawyer. Fragmented news from home came after I left. Horizon Smart, due to my sudden absence, and the Shen family's withdrawal, wobbled briefly, but the management team I left was strong enough. The core technology and market quickly stabilized the situation. Theo, Shen, and Willow Serene's days weren't so easy. I had my lawyer anonymously send copies of all the evidence I'd gathered about the ocean's embezzlement, gambling, and orchestrating the kidnapping to Mr. Shen. I heard the Shen family was thrown into chaos. Theo Shen was confined under internal investigation. The Shen Corporation's stocks plummeted, suffering heavy losses. Willow Serene's family company, just recovering, fell into trouble again, losing Theo Shen's support. She and her family woke from their dream completely. I didn't immediately drive them to ruin, not out of mercy, but because the most important thing now was Celeste Shen's health. 3 months later, on a radiant noon, Celeste Shen applied the final stroke to her canvas, turned and gave me a dazzling smile. She took my hand, placed it on her still flat belly. Then, with a clear, gentle voice, she said to me, Jasper, we're going to have a child. Overwhelming joy, like an alpine avalanche, instantly engulfed me. I froze for a few seconds before reacting, carefully embraced her, babbling in excitement, really, I'm going to be a father. Sunny, this is amazing, truly amazing. We're having a child. A new life carrying our shared blood, meant true rebirth and hope. In that moment, all obsessions with revenge seemed faded by this immense happiness. But I knew some things had to be settled. For me, for Sunny, and for our child's future. I had to return, to end everything completely. A week later, I brought Celeste Shen back to the country. This time, I was no longer the poor boy relying on the Shen family's power. but the founder of Horizon Smart, holding real capital and strength. The airport was swarmed with reporters, surrounding us with cameras and microphones. I held Celeste's hand tightly, my gaze calm and resolute. Mr. Dawn, is it true you and Miss Shen have reconciled? Mr. Dawn, what do you think of the recent crisis at the Shen Corporation? Mr. Dawn, rumors say your ex-girlfriend Miss Willow Serene's company is facing bankruptcy again. Will you step in to help? Each question sharper than the last. I stopped, took the nearest microphone. The room fell silent. Let me address this opportunity. My gaze swept over the crowd, my voice steady and strong. My wife Celeste Shen and I are deeply in love. We're about to welcome a new family member. Thank you all for your concern. The room buzzed. Camera flashes erupted everywhere. Celeste Shen leaned into me slightly, her face radiant with happiness. Second Horizon Smart is developing steadily. We have no shareholding ties with the Shen Corporation. As for their internal affairs, I have no comment. Third, my voice grew cold. Miss Willow Serene and I have no connection anymore. Adults must take responsibility for their choices. No one is obligated to pay for others' mistakes and greed. With that, I answered no more questions. Protected Celeste Shen, leaving swiftly through the security cordon. The next day, I went to the Shen family villa myself. Mr. Shen looked 10 years older overnight. Seeing me, his expression complex. Mrs. Shen silently shed tears beside him. Jasper, Dawn, you know everything. Mr. Shen's voice was weary. I sat down, my voice calm. I hope the law is upheld justly, not just for me and Sunny, but for the Shen family. A gambler and schemer, hiding under the famous name, will always be a ticking time bomb. Mr. Shen was silent for a long time, finally nodded heavily. If turned him over to the police, the Shen family's reputation cannot be ruined by him alone. As I left the Shen villa, the sky was overcast, and soon after, news broke. The second young master of the Shen Corporation, Theo Shen, was arrested for suspected embezzlement, illegal asset appropriation, and orchestrating the kidnapping 5 years ago. Awaiting him was the law's stern judgment. After Theo Shen's arrest, Willow Serene tried to come to my company to find me, was stopped by security downstairs. She was like a mad woman crying and screaming in the rain, ranting about her love and suffering. I stood at the large window of my top-floor office, coldly watching the tiny scene below. Her love was cheap and laughable, her suffering merely a veil for her greed. I ordered my assistant to deliver the final blow to the Liu family, making them bankrupt and liquidate completely, then paid them no more attention. From now on, she and everything related would be erased from my world. A month later, my and Celeste Shen's wedding was held again on a private beach. This time, no business partners, no lavish guests, only a few close friends, and a few Shen family elders who cared for Sunny. I wore my suit, watching her father lead Celeste Shen in a pristine white wedding dress, walking step by step toward me. Her veil fluttered lightly in the sea breeze. Her face glowed with a happy, serene smile, beautiful beyond description. My eyes grew wet. We exchanged rings, kissed deeply amid everyone's blessings. All past scars, pain, betrayal, and deceit dissolved in the sea breeze that moment. Filled by love, we lost much, but in the end kept each other the most precious thing. The future is long, and our story has only just begun. We will write it together.